David Schnelwar, known as Guru in our Grammy forum, one of our moderators, is a real guru when it comes to predicting the Grammys. And that's saying something, because these are some of the most unpredictable awards given on how the nominations are set in what's called the general field, the top 4 races for Best Record, Album, Song of the Year, and Best New Artist. We're going to look at Best Record, but first explain, there's a confusion, David, between Best Record and Best Song. What's the difference?
Record is the recording, is the actual song. Song goes to the songwriter, the artist or people who wrote the song.
Right. And so it's, in this case, would go to the recording artist. Now, here's where it gets crazy. The Grammys ask everybody in the Academy to vote for Best Record. They whittle it down to the top 20 vote getters, and then there's a secret committee of 25 people that go into a hotel room and they listen to everything, and they decide what the top 5 nominees are. And that's why you and I know that those judges tend to balance things. They may add, for example, a country song. They may say, oh, we need an R&B song or rap song in here. So generally, you have to think like a committee thinks when trying to predict this category. And here's what you're predicting right now when nominations come out in early December. You're predicting Black Eyed Peas, I got a feeling. You're going for Kings of Leon with You Somebody, Lady Gaga with Poker Face, and Taylor Swift for You Belong With Me. Why? Tell us what your thoughts are here.
Which one? I think Taylor Swift's a lock. She has the biggest album of the entire year. It's been on the top 20 of the Billboard top 200 the entire year. But I think she's the one lock so far. Everyone else is not set in stone. We'll have to see. Black Eyed Peas are really big right this year. They've had 26 weeks between 2 songs on the Billboard Top 100, and it's too big to ignore. My one hesitation about them, they were not played on any video channel of Viacom. That means MTV, VH1, BET, or any other sister stations. And usually an artist like that doesn't, but because of the Billboard charts, they're too big to ignore. So we're all assuming that they will be. And then who else? Kings of Leon. It was a big rock song throughout the summer to now. And did you mention Green Day?
Well, that's the one place we differ. This is your 5th prediction.
Okay,
it's Green Day with 21 Guns. Explain why you're going for that.
I just think it was a catchy song. This is going to be unusual if both Kings of Leon and Green Day both get nominated, because usually 2 rock songs don't get nominated for Record of the Year. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens. And I don't know. I just have a feeling about Green Day. They already won Record of the Year earlier this decade with Boulevard of Broken Dreams. I have a feeling they could be nominated again.
They could be, but here's where I'm going to take a disagreement with you. Because they have been kind to Green Day in the past, I think that they're going to go out of their way to embrace Rihanna after she's had a really tough year. Now, she has not had an outstanding single this past. So there's a case of where the one song that was really big that she was involved with during the close of the eligibility period was Run This Town. Really hot video. Teams her up with Jay-Z, which is really primarily his song, isn't it? It's Jay-Z featuring Rihanna, and then, of course, the problem here, Kanye West.
Yeah, I agree with that. I had that on my other possibilities. They usually do have a rap song. It's the only one I could think. I'm just not confident enough. I don't know if they're going to embrace Kanye West as they did for the past couple of years for Record of the Year. It is possible. It's just not definite. I guess you're bolder than me with that. I also would like to say that with Lady Gaga, Green Day, and Taylor Swift, something they have in common is they both have all been on Saturday Night Live and the cover of Rolling Stone, which is usually the Triple Crown of music, and the Grammys usually the middle, so they kind of really are leading up to it.
What about the one place where you and I disagree with our other forum's moderator, Darren Double D Dortch? He's got on this list, his 5th entry is Maxwell's Pretty Wings. That could make it, couldn't it?
It could. I wouldn't be surprised. He was very critically acclaimed this year. His album debuted very well. I wouldn't be surprised if it got nominated for Song of the Year. I'm not confident enough to predict it for Record of the Year.
Okay, now the other possibilities that we all 3 of us have down are Beyonce's Halo. That could make it in there, right? They love Beyonce. That's a hot song.
Yes. I was more confident about Singles Ladies, which was not submitted for Record of the Year. And I'm not as confident about Halo. That was submitted in the pop field, not R&B. So we'll have to see. It is very possible. Beyonce was also on my possibility list. It's all very possible.
Using your Saturday Night Live theory and Rolling Stone, U2 is really big with I'll Go Crazy If I Didn't Go Crazy, right?
Yes, I really think they have a real chance. It is very possible. They suddenly had a resurgence in the fourth quarter of this year with the cover of Rolling Stone for the second time. And Bono's currently right now on the cover with Mick Jagger and Bruce Springsteen for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame anniversary. And they were on Saturday Night Live at the season premiere. It is very possible. I felt like that was like almost like politics, like what they do with the Oscars, campaign wise. I don't know if they take people and artists take the Grammys as seriously. So I think they're very possible. They are probably veterans now because none of their songs were really on mainstream radio this year. Unlike the past two albums where Beautiful Day and Rico had a lot of airplay.
Right. And of course, Beautiful Day and Walk On are the two times they won this award in the past. All right, here's my long shot. Is there any chance at all that Miley Cyrus could be nominated for The Climb?
It is.
Look at your face, your eyes.
It is very possible. I agree with you. It is possible. That's another time I probably would be sung. No, she has a very good chance. I'm just not confident enough to predict it. And Lady Gaga.
She's a little too trashy, bubblegummy.
You're forgetting Lady Gaga. We mentioned her, right?
We talked about her up front, and what's interesting about all of our predictions is that we're all saying Poker Face when, in fact, Love Game was actually her last big song before before eligibility period stopped. But we agree Poker Face is a better song, right?
Yeah, I think Poker Face was submitted. I'm not sure if Love Game was. She's the closest in the past. This whole decade, they've been trying to proclaim a new Madonna with Britney and Christina and Pink and Katy Perry, and Lady Gaga is the first artist that I could actually say is the closest thing to Madonna. I think her songs are like Madonna wishes she was making right now. If you heard her latest song, Madonna's, and yeah, so it's too catchy. She's already made chart history this year. 3 of her songs went to #1 on the Billboard Top 100, and she currently has 2 songs in the top 10 right now. She's too big to ignore. She's too catchy. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with Lady Gaga.
But isn't she in a way kind of so trashy that she almost risks pushing herself out and not be taken seriously? I agree that she's going to be in this. She's too hot to ignore. I think she's fantastic. I think she's one of the most interesting artists to emerge, but she's deliberately trashy. I mean, just like her song Paparazzi.
They awarded Amy Winehouse top honors 2 years ago, and in the beginning of the 90s, Sinead O'Connor. So she's a nonconformist like them. It'll be interesting to see how they embrace her. I think definitely in the dance field, but it's just too big to ignore not in the general field.
Do you think she could actually win record or song? We saw Amy Winehouse do it.
I'd be very surprised because they never gave Madonna top honors, the Grammys. I mean, they nominated her finally in the late 90s, but they never awarded her. So it'd just be very awkward for me, at least, if they. But she is very possible. I would compare it to Winehouse if they did do that. I think you would also.
Yeah. What tune is out front to win here, do you think?
I don't know, because they've been having to go with the rock song lately. So I really don't know. Taylor Swift, I think, has a real good chance of being the big winner of the entire night. Just with record and song, I'm not confident enough with You Belong to Me, because it's really...
it's really featherweight. The most respected song here, and certainly the most haunting of the year, was You Somebody. But I think that song is so old that it has a problem. If it was 2 months ago, even a month ago, that song was still resonating. You weren't sick of seeing it on VH1 and weren't sick of hearing it on the radio. But I think it's reached that point now. But boy, that's certainly the best song in this group, I would say. What would you vote for?
Yeah, no. Who would I vote for? Maybe Poker Face. I don't know. It's really hard to say. Green Day might, if it matters how the chips fall, who gets nominated. Green Day already won once this decade, so maybe again. I'm not really sure. I'm not confident enough to see Kings of Leon win, but it is possible. They have been awarding the rock. I mean, they awarded Coldplay and U2 twice, and I'm not saying this in order, and Green Day recently.